Hello everyone, it's Christy aka Cuckoo Doodles and welcome back to the channel. I have not been that great, to be perfectly honest. So there's been this flu slash virus slash plague that's been sweeping across the UK. It seems like parts of Europe as well, and my friends across Europe are coming down with this awful disease thing. So I've been kind of just lying in bed staring into space, or lying on the sofa staring into space for about a week or so. And when I'm like this physically ill, my mental health takes a massive knock as well. So I haven't, perfectly honest, haven't been that great for a little while, but I am getting better. I'm like 90% there now, so hopefully things will get tip top. So I made my TBR for February and it only had 4 books in it because I thought, 4 weeks in the month, 4 books, 1 book per week. I forgot just how fast I can read, and because I've been literally doing nothing except staring into space, I got through those books very, very quickly and read loads more. These aren't all of the books, but basically I got through all of these. Let's do a quick run through. I did read Wave Me Goodbye by Jacqueline Wilson, which was in the previous TBR video. I don't know if I'm just getting slightly too old to read these for the first time now, but like I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it that much. I have quite a lot of thoughts and feelings on it. Maybe I'll do a video separately, but it was a worthwhile read. I also read Sophie Kinsella's My Not So Perfect Life. I haven't read one of her books in a long time, because the last time I read one of her books, I was just like, I've never been a huge fan of her books. I just felt like I should read it because she's everywhere. Picked it up and I don't know how she's getting away with writing the exact same character for decades. I kind of want to do a video about this book and about her books in general. It will turn into a rant video, but if you do want to see that, let me know, because I'm just, no. I want a refund on my time. Got through Potter's Boy by Toni Mitten. It's a kid's book. It's about this young boy in Japan who is embarking on a new life. I have mixed feelings about this book. I was given this book by a friend and I just picked it up because it sounded interesting, and then I kind of looked at the author and was like, it tends to be quite problematic when white people, especially elderly white men, try to write about stories set in Asia. When it's set in Asian countries, it's very exoticized. It becomes a spectacle. It becomes this exotic fantasy scape. Buddhist practices are quite a strong influence in this book, and to be fair, the Japanese setting is handled very respectfully. He doesn't get the culture right a lot of the time, and I was reading it, like, it's so obvious that it isn't written by someone who lived in the East Asian cultures, who grew up with East Asian cultures. There's a part where the boy kind of like defies the father and sort of misbehaves and acts up, and in the book it's all like the father like doesn't even address it. He's like very forgiving. He's like, of course, he's just acting out, we're very understanding. And I read it, I was like, in an East Asian family, you act out like that, you're gonna get your ass handed to you, no matter how out of character it may have been. The idea of like, of course you can chase your dreams, follow your own path. That's always been like a very Western idea. It's not Toni Mitten's fault, but I just wish there was more stories written by East Asian authors set in East Asian countries, because I've read so many books like this growing up and I never felt like they really understood what it was like to grow up in an East Asian family with our background, with our culture. There's always this sort of Western filter they put on. I got through this. I only wanted to show this because it's kind of hilarious. It's very 90s. This is a book about the secrets of posing and lighting, because I'm trying to get better with my photography. But it's kind of useful, but it focuses a lot on like studio lighting, and I don't have the money for that. And it says like it's posing and lighting. It's 90% lighting with like a tiny bit on posing, which kind of sucks. But some of the poses in here are just so funny. It's so awkward. Look at the fashion. Oh my gosh. This looks like it should be in the Spice Girls music video. What is he doing with his hair? Why is he a hedgehog? Who dressed you?
Who hated you like this?
I also skimmed through this in literally one day. I am interested in interior design. I love looking at pretty houses and stuff. This one was not useful at all because, like most millennials, I am renting, and like most millennials, I will be renting for a very, very long time. And something that really annoys me about most interior design books is that they seem to be written by wealthy or at least very well-off people who have been well off for most of their lives. So they tell you, like, you know, it's easy to make your space beautiful. No matter the size of your space, you can make it beautiful. It's very affordable. All you have to do is buy from these designer brands and then, you know, just hire an architect. Just hire a cheeky little architect to come in and like redesign your space. Basically, you know, just tear down a wall, buy all these like fixtures and like stick them on the walls. Like, it was nice to like browse through, but I could just go on Pinterest or Instagram, to be honest. Those were some of the books that I read. I did enjoy some of them not so much. Now for what I'm going to read in March. I did not want to make the same mistake of choosing too few books and then blasting through them, so I've gone the exact opposite and chosen loads of books. Look at the big stack. Okay, there's a lot of books. I'm just going to breeze through them so I don't have to edit so much. I have been reading Matter by Ian M. Banks since like the beginning of the year now. It is a big book. It is very, very complex. It's part of the Culture series and I've spoken about this before. I will link the video above. It's very complex. It's brilliant as usual, but it's not a quick read. There's always such fascinating ideas in every single culture novel. This one focuses on the idea of shell worlds, which are artificial planets created by this ancient race that has now disappeared, and it's just fascinating and very interesting. I got this from a charity shop. This is Sharon Old's book. It's Stag's Leap. It is a collection of poetry. Basically, as part of the Bargain Young Poets, everyone keeps talking about Sharon Old. Everyone keeps talking about how amazing her work is, and I found this and I just picked it up. What I've read of her work so far I've really enjoyed, so I'm looking forward to reading it and learning from the masters. As you will have seen from the bookshop and brunch day video that I posted, we went to Tales on Moon Lane, which is this really, really cute children's bookshop, and I picked up this gorgeous edition of The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. It's one of my favourite children's books. I've always loved reading it, and this is just a gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful edition. I will also be reading The Summer of Impossible Things by Rowan Coleman. It's a book that's got romance, a little bit of time travel, so it should be interesting. I got this from a Lush event I went to, signed by the author. She was very nice. Next up is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Now, Judah actually lent me this book months and months ago. We have a video of it, of us like swapping books for each other to read. We're housemates now, so like technically it's still within the house. I just haven't read it for months because like it's not going to be an easy read. It's about a young girl who balances her life between going to a very wealthy white school and living in a poor black neighborhood, and one day her best friend is shot by a police officer, and it's about the Black Lives Matter movement in America, and it's a very real issue. I personally get very upset about, as most empathetic, feeling human beings should be. But I'm going to read it because it's a book that should be read. These next two books are a bit random, but there we go. I have The Dynasties of China, 3,500 Years of Chinese Civilization. I got this from a secondhand bookstore. Basically, I don't know anything really about Chinese history, especially ancient Chinese history, because I grew up in this country, in England, so I never learnt it, and I feel like I should know a bit more about my culture and my country's history. This one I also got from a secondhand bookstore. It's Black Cats and Evil Eyes by Chloe Rhodes. It's a book about the history behind old-fashioned superstitions. I just really want to know the backstories behind a lot of our superstitions, like why are black cats lucky/unlucky? Why do we throw salt over our shoulders? Why is walking under ladders unlucky? I just wanted to learn stuff, so here we go. Also feel like this will be like a good source for my writing and things like that. These next books are from the library. I'm trying to use libraries more because it's important to support your local libraries. A Black Box Thinking by Matthew Syed. I don't know how to pronounce things. I don't know very much about it. All I know is that my little sister read it and she was like, you have to read this book. And she doesn't tend to read a lot of books, probably quite good. I think it's basically about how to approach thinking and thinking through a world that's all about high performance and fast change. Next up is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. I've read this before, but it's one of my favourite Neil Gaiman works. It's about a young boy who grows up in a graveyard and is raised by ghosts and other supernatural beings, and I adore this book. I absolutely love it. I decided to give interior design books another crack, but I was looking through the section and like these are all sort of like very beautiful curated spaces that look effortless but actually probably cost so much money to put together, and they were just weren't very like realistic or achievable for me or very relatable for me. But I did come across this one, which is Feng Shui style, the Asian art of gracious living. So Feng Shui, I'm just using the Cantonese pronunciation by the way. It sounds very like hippy dippy and crystals, and I should do meditation and yoga each morning and have trees in my house and all that jazz. I don't know what that voice was, I apologise. You're supposed to like create your living space so that there's like a good flow of good energy around your house. Even if you don't believe in all that stuff, it still makes sense to have a space that has good feng shui. Because, you know, if you think about it, a place that's really cluttered and feels like everything's encroaching on you and things aren't like facing a way that makes sense, it has a massive toll on like your head and your health. Your living space is important, your life is there. So I had to read this, learn from it, and actually be able to apply what it teaches me to my day-to-day life. Myself and my two housemates are a little bit depressed about this house that we're living in. We've been here since about October now, but this house is kind of falling apart. It's a very, very old house. It's cold, it's dark, there's basically no natural light. But we are young people living and renting in London, so we have no money or ability to like do up the place and improve it. The changes we can make are quite small. Hopefully the small changes we can make will actually make us feel better about this house until our tenancy ends and we can escape this cold fridge of a house. Why is renting in London so difficult? All I want is a safe, clean, affordable space that's nice to live in. But you know, us millennials, we are asking for too much. Anyway, that is all of the books. I am running out of energy and sass, believe it or not. This has been a very sassy video. Let me know your thoughts on any of the books that I have mentioned here. I am very active in the comments and on Twitter mostly, so get in touch. It's Kookadoodles on everything. And thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye. Ugh. How do you thumbnail on BookTube? Do you just kind of like pose? Hey, I'm holding a stack of books next to my face. Will this make you click on my video? You know, YouTube has changed all those rules and stuff. Gotta get them subscribers up, get that watch time, all that jazz. When will I breathe again? Breathing's great. Please give me back my ability to breathe.